Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of Cerebral Stick Up. And today we have a very special guest for you. He's a financial planner, and during this time, one of the main topics is finances. She's also fitness industry. She helps people to get in shape physically, better mentally, feel good about themselves, lose weight. Katie Batres. So you helped your grandma? It worked out?
Yeah, because I'm in the patio right now. I came to her house because I
Hmm.
get better service and it's not as loud. My house, everyone's yelling and talking.
What's going on in your house that it's so loud? Everybody's
It's just
yelling.
yeah, everyone's so loud, and then at the moment we're also doing construction, so it just makes everyone talk even more loud over the construction. It's just
Gotcha.
it's a little crazy
Gotcha.
right now.
How old is your grandma?
She's 88. She just turned 88
Oh,
this year.
wow. Yeah.
I know, super healthy, walks around, still does all the housework, but when I'm here, I like to help out.
Great. Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is, like, where are you located? I guess, first
I'm
of
in
all.
San Pedro, California.
Okay. How's the virus there and everything, the pandemic going?
We're still on lockdown. Places are opening up. People are getting tired of staying in.
Mm-hmm.
So the streets are crowded. There's traffic already again, but not a lot of stuff's open.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, me personally, I haven't known many people that got sick. And the ones that I did aren't people I see every single day. So it's
Yeah.
been kind of like, it almost feels like a dream to me. It hasn't really affected me personally yet. So
Mm-hmm. Who would have thought, like, it started about March or so. So who would have thought, like, in February, like, we'd be here right now. Everybody's like
right.
wearing masks, everything's shut down. It's crazy.
It's wild. And I think I saw something weird on TikTok the other day where they were like, "Oh, this guy posted this last year." And he comes on and he's like, "You guys, I know the future. Everyone's going to be wearing masks next year and we're going to be in quarantine." And he posted it a year ago and people were like, "Okay," and just kind of ignored it, and someone saved the video and was like, "He was right." And I was like, "This is crazy."
Yeah, maybe he was a prophet.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, no one would have believed him for sure."
That's funny. So I saw, like, the on your page that you're a, like, financial planner. How did you get
Yeah.
into that kind of field?
Quarantine. It's crazy. I actually it's very recent. I've only been in it for about 3 4 months. This might be my
Hmm.
fourth month. um and what drew my interest to it was that this she's my direct now, so she's like my mentor, and her name's Angela. She actually talked to me about it, I want to say in February, and I
Hmm.
was like, I'm not into finances. I do fitness, model, dancing. I do entertainment stuff.
Hmm.
I'll have other people handle my money. And as soon as COVID hit, everyone was losing their jobs. All of my jobs shut down. We weren't legally allowed to do music videos or have shows anymore. And it was one of those, I was like, okay, she reached out again. And she was like, think about how many people need this right now. So many people are losing their jobs. So many people realize they're not protected because we do a lot of insurance as well. And I was like, wow, it's so like that field is so lucrative right now. You're right, I could help out a lot of families, and that's kind of what sparked my interest. Started training, got licensed, and I've been doing it ever since.
So, like, what are your suggestions? Are there, like, is it everybody different? Is there, like, a broad kind of, like, suggestion during this time that you would give to people that are listening?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure every family is different. Everyone has different needs, which is awesome because in my company, we're able to represent the top 75 financial companies at the moment. And so if someone has something specially that is only good for their family, we can find that out. And this
Hmm.
family might be different from this one. Someone might be like, I'm a bachelor, I live with myself, no kids. Someone might have a full family, right? They
Hmm.
might be retiring. So there is different needs that we can kind of guide us to see what service would be best for them. However, the general would be honestly just life insurance.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are like, well, life insurance, that's money when you die. Why do I need it? Or I'm too young, or I don't have a family. And there's actually a lot of like secret things that the wealthy has been doing for years where they use life insurance to their advantage. And there's actually a lot of living benefits to it, a lot of ways you can grow your money, use it as your investment, pull out that money to buy a house, use
Hmm.
it for long-term care if you get sick. And it's one of those we're trying to bring awareness to it. It actually happens to be Life Insurance Awareness Month as well in September. So trying to bring more awareness to it, because even people my age, and I even talked about it to my younger brother, he's only 19. And I'm
Mhm.
like, the younger you are, the healthier you are, the cheaper it's going to be. And the sooner you start, the more benefits that you're actually able to receive from it. And the wealthier you could become faster, the younger you are as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
life insurance would be,
it's similar to like what people say about like 401ks and stuff like that. A lot of times younger people don't really think about it, but if
yeah,
you start investing like early and it's so cheap, by the time you're ready to retire, it like you could have millions in your 401k,
yep.
so it's but unfortunately like people just don't think ahead, and then when that time comes that they end up kicking themselves.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely.
Mhm. So you said that you, prior to this, you were like you kind of in the fitness industry, which is initially like kind of what prompted me to get you on the show, and then I found out like the financial planning aspect of it, which I thought was pretty interesting. But you say you do dancing and fitness. How did you just get into that? Initially.
I mean, they kind of bleed into each other if you start getting deep into it, but I started off with dance first. Started late. Most dancers are like, I've been dancing since I was 3. I started ninth grade in high school, which is pretty late. Most people are already dancing. And I stuck with hip hop. Luckily, I got put under the right person. His name was Ricky Cole. He's been like my dance dad, my mentor, and took me traveling around the world with him. We got to teach all over Europe, Holland, Mexico. I missed out on Canada. I was sad, but I got to do that a lot. And then once you get more into the dance industry, if you want to start booking jobs, music videos, you kind of realize, oh, I need to get in shape. I'm getting
Hmm.
older. After high school, I eat a lot. After high school, you start realizing, oh, I thought I just thought I didn't gain weight, but your body changes, right? And it's one of those, now I have to stay healthy. Kind of bled into, okay, now let's try to get fit. I'm one of those people where when I want to do something for myself, I'll do the full like 9 yards. I'll be like, no, I want to go to school for it now, or I want to get a certificate in for it now, but only for me. And then once I got certified as a personal trainer, I did that for a little bit, but it was mostly for me. And I didn't really like doing the one-on-one with people.
Hmm.
So I just continued fitness, but I was like, I could reach more people through video. So I
Hmm.
started making home videos about how people could stay healthy, do full-on workouts, but at home.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, and that's huge now because I mean, for a while the gyms were completely closed down. So,
Right.
and then now they're kind of like some of them are open in like limited capacity, but many people still like rather work out from home to try to be
Oh, yeah.
safe. So yeah, I actually once this whole pandemic hit, I didn't have like barely anything at my house. So like everybody else, I'm rushing to try to buy like weights and everything, and it became so expensive because
Yeah.
everybody was charging so much for the equipment now. I guess it was a way
Yeah.
for them to make money, which is unfortunate that people use this time to try to make a buck, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So did you notice like more of an increase in like your, I guess, viewership or interest in your videos once the pandemic hit?
Yeah, well, I think it was one of those, it kind of worked in my advantage, and it wasn't on purpose. It was just like luck of the draw. I used to make videos strictly for YouTube,
Hmm.
and just try to make my money off of that, the advertisements, and that was going really well, to the point where every month or two, I'll still get a check from YouTube, and I'm like, oh, dope, because I don't make YouTube videos anymore, and I'm like, oh, cool, I put in the work back then. You forget about it, and people are still watching, but right before the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? I want to make a subscription base where I can actually put out videos, for people that are just like not mindlessly, let me look up anything I can on the internet to work out. But okay, I'm going to put out 4 a month where it's strategic. And I'm like, okay, let's do one for upper body, legs, core, and cardio. And let's put out a little plan for you guys. So you guys are doing things in the right order. You're making sure that you're like, getting an even amount of a workout for your full body. And so once I put that out, it dropped, I want to say in March. And then I think 2 weeks later, we were put in lockdown. And that's
Oh.
when they were officially like, yep, COVID's real. It's scary. We're going to put everyone on lockdown. And I'm like, wow, this is perfect because everyone had to stay home. And so it kind of just worked out in that sense where it definitely built, and it helped reach more people to open their minds to like, okay, let's check out these types of at-home fitness plans because all the gyms closed on them.
Gotcha. So do you put out videos like in a general sense? Because I know you said that you didn't really like the one-on-one aspect of it. So you put out information that anyone who subscribes to your, I assume your website
Mhm.
is gets that information. Are they able to like ask you questions or anything like that, or do you just kind of put the video out there and that kind of gives them everything they need to know?
Yeah, so I think my once they sign up on the subscription, it's pretty made it easy because I was like,
Hmm.
I don't know if my friends are going to be doing it, if people that are still in high school are going to be doing it, or if moms are going to be doing, because when I first put it out, even my mom was like, I'm going to get on it too. And I was like, oh, okay, I should start making videos with that in mind, knowing that a lot of busy moms or people that are a little bit older, they don't want to go to the gym. They want to
Hmm.
still stay healthy and work out, but in their own homes. So I try to make it as easy as possible so that anyone that jumps on understands exactly how it works, what videos they should watch. But I also put myself out there a lot on social media in the sense of I'm always like, hey, if you have any questions, DM me. Like, I'll answer anybody. You guys could email me if you want, I'll reply. Just to make it easier so that they know that someone will respond at all times. And so I
Gotcha.
open that up for people.
Awesome. Awesome. So are you still dancing? Are you still doing any dance?
Slowly. I mean, it's one of those in the beginning, it had to be very under the table because we weren't supposed to be gathering, right? And
Yeah.
so it would be in small amounts of people to keep it safe. But the jobs were still coming. So luckily it didn't stop completely, but it was cutting my check in half when COVID hit.
Mm.
But music videos are still happening, luckily. I could still put out content. So like, let's say people send me clothes or they're an artist and they have a new song. They're like, oh, can you dance or put a video on Instagram? And it's like, dope.
Mm.
Okay, I could still make my money. But the days of performing on stage and everything, I don't know. I don't know when that's going to come back. So,
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And there were so many people that I wanted to see, like, and then now I'm like, am I ever gonna get a chance to see them? Like,
right.
thankfully, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and they had like a big concert here for Beyonce and Jay-Z
Oh, sick.
a few months, maybe I'm thinking maybe like 4 months or 5 months before the
Yeah.
COVID thing hit. And I was thankfully I was able to go with my wife, but
Yeah.
like, that was great. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, am I ever going to get an opportunity to go to a show like that again? It's, who knows? I like to say yes, but how, how low does this virus have to get for them to allow like a big concert like that? I mean, it would have to be almost non-existent, I would imagine, at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so crazy just thinking about the things that we used to do, like doing those, going to concerts where everyone's pretty much touching each other and sweating on each other, screaming and yelling and being this close and talking over the music. And it's like, wow, when are we going to be able to do that again? Like,
Yeah,
nowadays
yeah,
I go to the grocery store and if I'm standing in front of the milk or something, someone will walk all the way around to try to
right,
grab it, and they'll be like, and I'm like, you chill,
yeah.
it's okay, I'm not freaking out, you have a mask on already, like.
Yeah, it's weird how that is, right? It's like you have people that are just don't care at all and don't take any precautions, and then you have people that are just like will take the to the 100th percentile, just extreme
Right.
precautions, and then
Yeah.
both people are people are kind of irritating a little bit.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, yeah, because you don't like that person that's like, I'm not gonna wear a mask, and you
yeah,
have to deal with it. And it's like you also don't like the person that's like too paranoid, but at the same time, I feel like, okay, whether you agree with all these protocols or not, it's one of those, at the end of the day, it's like, just wear the mask, do what everyone has to do because we're all in this together. And
right.
by you standing out that much, it's like you're not really like uniting with all of us, and that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, yeah, no, that is, and well, so what's interesting is my mother actually had COVID, so
Oh
she
wow.
works in the hospital. So what was
Oh,
interesting with her situation is that the COVID, it's process itself wasn't bad at all. So like she didn't have like much of temperature, she didn't have any lung issues,
Oh,
she
thank God.
no body aches, nothing like that. But then the after effects, so she's no longer COVID positive, she's
Mhm.
negative, but she had some like issues with severe weakness. So now she's like
Whoa.
gets these bouts of like severe weakness and all kinds of um like head issues and things like
Mhm.
that. So she took some time off of work to hopefully it'll get better. But it's a weird thing, right? Because it's like you could get it and be really bad, and you hear of people just dying in a week or something, and then others like have no effect, and then some have some effect, and it's like you never know like how people are going to react to it,
Yeah.
to getting that disease. It's a crazy thing. And then you hear of some places, like some countries in Europe, who have very little cases, almost none,
Mhm.
and they're functioning, absolutely normal, like nothing ever happened. So it's crazy how like everything is just, nothing is standardized, even
Yeah.
from state to state. Like everybody's got different rules and different ideas on how to combat the situation or deal with it. So it's great. I heard LA was doing terrible. Do you know anything
Yeah,
about that?
and that's crazy because to me, we've been living in this for so long that I'm like, oh, everyone's going through this.
Hmm.
Everyone, we're still in quarantine, we're still in lockdown, like, And my husband actually recently drove from Pittsburgh. He flew over there for a month or two to get training and a new job, and
Hmm.
he drove back. So he was like, yeah, I got to experience every state. And he was like, we're literally the only state that still has to wear masks. Like, we have to, like, whatever states he was driving through, he was like, it was like nothing ever happened. And then you come back to California, we're very close to LA. I could see LA actually when I moved past the trees here.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, we're still on total lockdown. If you drive through downtown LA, it's really bad.
Yeah.
People look like they're sick and they're still all just walking on the streets. And I'm like, oh, it's not
Yeah.
doing too good.
I was just listening to a podcast. I don't know if you're aware of who this is, but Kevin Smith. I don't know if you're aware of the name,
Oh no.
but he. I don't know if you remember the movie Jay and Silent Bob. He was. Um, anyways, it doesn't really, that's not the important part. He's he's a director, producer in LA,
Okay.
pretty famous. And he was saying that like it was really bad. And not only that, but now you guys are having like bouts with severe heat. Is that true?
Oh
Did you
my gosh.
get
It's
are you getting
crazy.
hot?
I was just on the phone with someone right before we got on this call and I forgot where they're from. I think they're from, I want to say Wyoming. I don't know. But
Hmm.
they were like, yeah, it's a cool 55 over here. And I was like, yeah, LA is usually 70, 75. We're like, it's
Hmm.
beautiful. There's so many fires. And I don't know if that's what's adding to it, but it's been almost over 100 every day,
Yeah.
which LA is sunny, but we never get heat like that. And it's to the point where you go outside and it hurts, like it burns and you're like, I have to have an umbrella for
Yeah.
this heat as well.
That's crazy. Somebody said it was I don't know if this was in LA but or close to LA, but they were getting around 118.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
that,
probably like in Palmdale, like 45 minutes above LA. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even know what 118 degrees feels like. That's I
Yeah.
that, yeah, you just catch on fire. Like
Yeah.
that's basically what you do. You step outside and catch on fire. That's ridiculous. So and they were saying that like that now people are worried that everybody's air conditioning is working, so they're worried about blackouts now, like with the electricity and
Oh
stuff like
man.
that. So
That's
that'd be
hitting
terrible.
close. Like one or two cities over in Torrance, that's only like 15 minutes away from where I'm at right now. They're already having blackouts where none of their electricity is working, so everyone's
Oh
AC is
wow.
turning off, and I'm like, in this heat, like,
Can you
I'm like, come
imagine?
on, I wish I could shelter everyone.
Yeah, and think about like somebody like you might be able to, you might wish you were dead, but you probably would survive. But like think about somebody like your grandmother, like who's
Yeah,
older, like dealing with that heat. That's terrible. That's terrible
I
situation.
can't even imagine. And there's there has to be like the people that are older that live all by themselves.
Sure.
Things are blacked out right now, and maybe they don't have family over here, so they literally don't know where to go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, terrible. So, just to backtrack a little bit about the dancing, is that how majority of your money is made, or your jobs, I guess, would be like videos, and then like I guess you dance to like music and things of that nature. But is the majority was through stage work, like just being on stage? Is that primarily the?
It wasn't the primary of my income. I think where I was passionate about, yeah. I
Mm,
loved performing on stage, dancing, not stuff like theater or anything, but just like literally like performing like World
hmm.
of Dance kind of stuff. When before it was a TV show, it was an actual event. Or going to go teach overseas and getting to perform in front of that audience, that was like
Hmm.
great for me. But the majority of my income was actually modeling, and
I
that's
got you.
because music videos are coming out every single day. They're being made every day, so I could book up to 5 every single week, like for sure. Like there was going to be one
Hmm.
every day. And so that was like the majority of where all my money was coming from.
Okay, and so that's still happening, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, slowly. Because a lot of people are scared. A lot of the people that were more legit, like the really, really big artists,
Hmm.
they're trying to be low key. And a lot of them are like, I don't even want to deal with it right now. They don't want to get any legal stuff involved. But the up and coming artists, the ones that are like, I'm still trying to make it big, or
Right.
like they're on a smaller scale, oh, they're popping out music left and right, music videos left and right. They don't care. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
coming back slowly.
So how is that experience like to be in, music videos and everything that, like, is there any, like, what have you like kind of encountered? Like, what did you like the most about it? Would you
Mm.
not like about it?
I think so. So when you first get into it, I was young. As soon as I turned 18, I was like, "Hey, Chris Brown, I'm here."
Hmm.
And so I got to experience all that. And at first, it's really fun. Not that it's not fun now; it is. But I think my priorities for sure changed when I go to these jobs. It used to be I just want to go have fun. I just want the exposure.
Hmm.
And nowadays, it's more like, okay, I want to make the most out of all I'm there, but I'm going to network and I'm going to see how I can help them out like financially, and I'm going to see if I could work with them again and become their booking manager. And it's more about trying to find more work, if anything, networking, seeing how we can help each other with whoever's there, the director or the artist themselves, the other models.
Gotcha.
um, and I think I definitely take it more serious now. It's more like when I go, I'm like, I'm here to dance and do my job. And before I used to be like, oh, I'm here to have fun. Oh, there's drinks. Okay, well let's get crazy on set. And now it's more like, no, I'm here to do my job.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's always like that music industry
oh yeah,
is always, like what the people's idea of it is like everybody's like partying and like it's all just like a lot of fun. But it sounds like you're taking more of like a professional approach now to it.
yeah. It also depends on just the artist themselves. Some artists like to be like, yo, I want it to be a party on set because maybe their music video has to do with that. They want
Hmm.
the vibes really there so people could just walk around and film at any point.
Gotcha.
But I also want to say, like, based on that, if anyone's thinking about getting into it, who's watching, you want to be careful as well, because someone that's just going into this industry thinking it's all going to be fun, it's all glamorous, you open yourself up to be very vulnerable and sometimes in front of the wrong people. And
Hmm.
there is a lot of people that will take advantage of you or put you in weird situations. So, there is a safety that you want to be aware of when showing up to these jobs as well.
So to expound on that, are you like you're referring to like especially for females? I'm assuming like
Oh
dealing with
yeah,
the
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
dealing with that. That's what everyone also hears about, like dealing with the music videos and stuff like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
always like
All real for sure.
it.
Yeah. Any horror story you might have heard or any crazy experience, I would like 100% believe it, because sometimes these artists, man, like some of them are very professional. Thank you so much. Like, they value that the models are there doing their job. And
Mhm.
some of them are like, oh,
Yeah,
they almost act like they're just hiring animals in the background, and they'll
right.
treat you like that. And then it just gets very unprofessional really quick. So you just have to watch out, see who you're working for, see who's going to be on set.
Have you, well, obviously, like I wouldn't expect you to say any names or anything like that, but
Yeah.
have you had any like experiences where you had to just be like, okay, this is not cool.
Yes, but it was more on the photo shoot side rather than music video. Like there has been a time where I did a photo shoot with someone and we went all the way to Malibu and we were in a public area. So to me, I'm like, we're safe. We're in a public area, you know. But they would not stop buying drinks, and I was like, I'm very far from home right now. I'm not gonna drink, you know.
Right.
And and it was one of those like I felt bad. So at some point I was like, okay, I took a couple sips of it and right away I felt very weird. Like right away I couldn't see at all. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm so paranoid that I'm making myself feel this way. But and
Ooh.
he was just kind of sketchy, you know. So after
Hmm.
that, I kind of just hung around the bartender who happened to be in the general area. It was like an open area, but there also happened to be an open bar. I kind of stuck in that area and was like, I'm just gonna chill here until I feel better. And then when I feel better, I'm just going to tell the photographer I don't feel like, you know, I want to go home. I don't feel good. And so that's what I
Hmm.
ended up doing. Um, Music videos wise, I have always went in very, very stern where like I'd walk in and I'm like, hey, everyone, I'm in a long-term relationship, or even now, because I've been married for a couple of years now, I walk in and I'm like, hey, like if anyone tries to say anything right off the bat, I'm like, hey, I'm married. I'm not wearing my ring because that's weird in music videos.
Uh-huh.
But right from the jump, I'm married. I'm here to do my job. And
Yeah.
like, even when I was trying to have fun, I would be very stern because the girls that are just like, yeah, let's like anything goes. Let's go somewhere after this
Yeah.
are the ones that have those crazy experiences, like, you know,
Right.
are the ones that ended up getting drugged or maybe taken home or
Right.
put in bad situations. And I've had friends that have those situations. So it's definitely all real. Like girls just have to go in with that mindset of making sure that they're good, like they're taken care
Yeah. Yeah. That's terrible that that's the that's the way you have to be,
of.
but
Right.
it does make a lot of sense because like your safety is primarily your responsibility. So
Yeah,
it's like if you don't act in such a way that like you're keeping yourself safe, you can't expect someone else, to care about your safety that much. So it's like you
exactly.
said, like you said, it's like that, you come in and you kind of display that kind of, I guess, attitude or that character that you're there for professional purposes, and that's it. And, not interested in anything else, then it's kind of like people will treat you that way, so it's how you establish
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
100%, 100%. I know like some people will hear about the situations and be like, well, you did go to be a model or you did decide to wear that outfit. But I think it's one of those like at the end of the day, it's like it's really not. I've been on jobs where I'm in full lingerie and they'll treat me professionally because I'm acting professionally, you know?
Right,
And
right,
I go in and I carry myself that way. Like, yeah, I'm wearing this, but you're paying me this much to wear this and this is how I'm gonna be treated, you know?
right, right. You put
So
that energy out there, so
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha. So you get into dancing, you get into this like show business, entertainment industry, you start working out. Like what was your goal like as far as fitness was concerned? Were you trying to like lose weight? Were you trying to tone up, or were you just trying to maintain?
My thing was my thing was to put on weight and then to tone that up. So I was always very small,
Hmm.
I was very tiny all through high school. As soon as I started doing music videos and dancing when I was 18, um, first reason was for dance. When you're in hip hop, especially, you want to hit things really hard. I
Hmm.
didn't have the muscle to like hit as hard and be as sharp as I wanted to be. So I was very much flowier than normal. And I was like, no, I need to get muscle so I can hit hard. I liked dancing as strong as the guys. Like I liked that.
Gotcha.
So that was reason number one. And then reason number two was also I was doing music videos at the same time. And my the booking managers that I would work with a lot, they would always be like, oh, the innocent one is coming or the cute one is coming, because everyone's usually like, oh, they're sexy or they're voluptuous or they're this or that. That's just how the hip hop industry is.
Hmm.
And I would always be the tiniest one on set, and I would be the one like, you know, like didn't have the curves and blah blah blah. And so, oh, sorry.
Is that grandma?
See, I can't get away. They follow me. I leave home, everyone follows me. It gets loud. So so that was reason number two. I was just like, you know what, I want to get thicker. I want to put on more muscle, you know, like
Hmm.
I don't want to just like be thicker because I want to be thicker, like yeah, but also like I want to have that muscle where when I dance also I could keep up and hit as hard. And so it was a
Gotcha.
combination of both of those.
So when you say hit hard, are you saying you were like more when you flowy? It's like, are we talking like more ballet-ish and less like?
Oh no, like when I, because I've only ever done hip hop. Really, I've done hula and stuff, but like
Mhm.
ballet, jazz, I've always ever really done just hip hop. So
Gotcha.
my thing was like, there's a difference between like hip hop dancers. Like some of them like dance really flowy and
Mm,
they're like very
I
wavy,
gotcha.
and that was me. But Ricky Cole, which going back to him, who was my mentor,
Hmm.
he was very much like a, like he danced like a man, right? And
Hmm.
so when we're on stage with him, if I'm dancing like this next to him when he's like hitting something like really hard,
Hmm.
I just look like I'm not doing as well when that's the style. So I was like, no, I need to get stronger, use these muscles so I can hit harder.
So did you feel like you achieved that goal?
Yeah, I think as I progressed, I feel like as I progressed, I definitely did. I want to say though, I wasn't strict on my arms, and I initially went into working out because I'm like, these need to get stronger because this is what I want to hit harder.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, my back develops really fast, and I
Hmm.
got scared, and I'm like, no, I want to look like tiny and like,
Hmm.
so I kind of let myself get scared. But obviously, as we all know, girls can weightlift and we're not going to get bulky like
Right.
that, like, unless that's our goal, but there's
I'm
a strategic way to do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's such a, I was waiting to see how like you were going to approach that subject.
Yeah.
And yeah, because that's such a, even though there's like fitness in the with women has become more and more upfront, especially with social media being, so
Mhm.
popular and stuff like that. There's still so many people out there and they say it so many times. It's very irritating. It's like chalk, like nails on a chalkboard for me,
Yeah.
where like they talk about women not being able to lift or lift heavy. I've seen so many women in my gym that are, people consider smaller, and they lift extremely heavy, like for their body weight, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like it's that's not. You're not going to look like a man if you lift weights. You're just not.
True. Yeah.
That's not a thing.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. It's something that kind of, I almost feel like girls don't find that out on their own. I almost feel
Mhm.
like someone else just tells them that, like, oh, don't lift weights. And you're like, okay. And you just stick with it without even like searching it, without even asking other people who
Right.
actually do weightlift if it's even true. And I think that's what happened with me. I was just like, okay, I heard it from other people and I was like, you're right, I'm never going to do it. And then I realized, no, that's what I need just to get the definition that I want, to get the
Hmm.
results that I want. Like even for losing weight, people, like if you're just doing cardio, you're going to plateau. Like it's my friends that started adding weightlifting with their cardio that got the best results, that have like the best bodies. And I'm like, yo, I need to start lifting heavier. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. You found out, and now you're able to like kind of share it with other people. So
Yeah.
on your website, are your exercises with weights, or are you um, because I know you said that you're working mostly like teaching
From
people how to
home.
work out at home. So
Mhm.
are you using like items like you see sometimes people on social media and other videos, they'll use like chairs and other things to try to lift weights.
Yeah.
How do you approach that subject?
So for mine, I definitely focus more on anything you could get from home. So I will add stuff, like I won't be like, hey, go grab like cans of like food or something, but I will be like, oh, but it like go get a cool little pair of dumbbells, something that's like, I don't know,
Hmm.
anywhere from 5 pounds to 15 pounds, something that like that's just cute. You could keep in your living room or something. Ankle weights, something that won't take up too much space, but is actual equipment that you could
Right.
use at the gym too. But without them having to get a full machine or anything, I do have a full on gym in my house though, because my
Oh,
dad,
nice. Nice.
he's like the full need, he loves working out, loves
Hmm.
weightlifting. So I think I have every single type of machine in my
Yeah.
garage. And so I love that for me, but I'm like, that would be unfair to make videos like that, especially at a time right now where people are gonna be like, well, where do I get one of those?
Right.
That
Right.
might not be available to them. So I definitely specialize more in everything that you could get at home or just quickly on Amazon, something little,
Yeah.
so that anyone at home can do the workouts.
Yeah, it wouldn't be relatable,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
honestly, yeah, it's I think you definitely made the right choice. But it is awesome that you've got a gym at home. You don't have to
Heck
worry
yeah.
about any of that. So thank you,
Yeah, because I can
Dad.
still work on my personal goals as well as being able to help everybody else as well.
Gotcha. What do you do as far as cardio is concerned? Like, what do you suggest for people?
Hit.
It.
Hit always. Yeah, I remember when I first started on my fitness journey, I was like, okay, I'm gonna run all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that just kept me small, like, so for hit, I was able to tone up a lot of my muscles to make them look bigger, even if they didn't grow substantially. Like, you need
Right.
weights to like really put on that mass. But
Right.
I was able to be like, oh, wow, my waist is getting smaller. Oh, cool, my legs are getting thicker to get that shape with just doing hit, high intensity interval training. And if anyone is like, well, what's hit? Like, you could literally type in HIIT on YouTube and
Mm-hmm.
get thousands of hit videos that I promise will be the best for your cardio, because it's kind of a mix of getting your heart rate up and keeping it up, but toning your body at the same time and really feeling that burn, not just like you're out of breath because you're running, but
Mm-hmm.
doing a bunch of different exercises that are going to work out every part of your body.
Yeah, yeah, that's that it's so important to like be a strategist when you train too, because
Yeah.
it's like you can't just use like a shotgun method, because everything doesn't work for everybody. And
Yeah.
then and it's one of those things where there's a lot of misinformation out there too.
Mhm.
So it's like, what do people listen to? Well, you listen to people that have success, and it's like, you've
Yeah.
obviously had success, so you can now like pass that on to other people so they can have some success. do you
Yes.
um do you do like do you do any kind of like nutrition advice or anything like that, or is it mostly just training?
Yeah, mine's mostly training. So I
Mhm.
did want to add that aspect onto my website so that when people, since they're already subscribed to it, I'm like, I want to make it a one-stop shop. Because for
Yeah.
some people, they don't want to have a bunch of different things. I want everything in one website. And so I did bring a nutrition planner type on board to make meal plans. So I actually had someone help me make a 1 month meal plan for anyone that wants to do clean eating, or if they're vegan, or if they're vegetarian,
Hmm.
that would go with the workouts that I do so that you could get the results that you want. However, I don't specialize in it at all. So even when it comes to nutrition, I always have to reach out to my friends or people that I've networked with to help me out with that part.
Gotcha. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like it'll be like a group effort.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. Well, Kate, thank you so much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. If somebody, and we've talked about your business quite a lot on the show. How would people reach out to you? I don't know if we actually covered that part of it. So kind of plug in like your
Oh,
way of contacting you.
oh yeah, I would just say DMs. From DMs, if it's one of those like we're gonna probably go back and forth, I'll probably end up giving you my number. But I would just say on Instagram at katierose.bae, KATIE Rose ROSE.BAE. You could DM me. I respond to pretty much anyone as long as it's not like weird messages. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys have genuine questions, I'm on it. I read every single one.
Gotcha. And what about your website?
Oh,
You
on my
have that?
website, so the link will be in the bio. But
Mhm.
if you're like, I already forgot what the Instagram is, then the website is no, don't put the W's, that'll mess it up. Just put fit bae body, so fit BAE body.com.
Awesome. And guys, if you like this video, want to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell button. And again, Kay, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.